Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So in front of us is the 2023 Honda CRV Hybrid. This is the all-wheel drive sport touring. It's finished off in Canyon River Blue. MSRP is just over $40,000. Now we have a lot to go over for this smaller size hybrid, and we will start off with what powers this. Underneath the hood, this is the 2-liter 4-cylinder. It's also paired to that hybrid electric system and the eCVT transmission. This pumps out 204 horsepower, 247 pound-feet of torque, sent through that all-wheel drive system. It will propel this 3,900-pound SUV from 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds. And it also has a 14-gallon fuel tank. You'll expect to see around 40 miles per gallon in the city, 34 out on the highway. Now, as we work our way to the exterior styling, I want to point out that the headlights and high beam housings are very nicely integrated just off the grille. So I really like how they're tucked away, but they have a great design to them. There's some of this gloss black trim that goes right through the middle, going to the top of the grille. So that's how it's also nicely incorporated. The Honda badge is also the forward-facing sensor for the adaptive cruise. Plenty of cutouts in that grille. There's also cutouts in the lower section. There are sensors up front too, and some more cutouts in the far ends of the bumper just to provide some better airflow. Very nice lines are on the hood too, so it gives it a great design for this front end. Now this also has a set of 19-inch wheels. They're finished off in gloss black, and as you'll be able to tell, there's some plastic for the fender arches as well as the lower side skirt. Now for the side mirrors, it just gets the turn signal. Upper section is gloss black. There's more gloss black on the roof racks. Sunroof up top. It's just for your front seat passengers. There is chrome trim surrounding all the windows, and then some nice lines that run down the side, both in the lower section, and then this crisp line that comes all the way to the taillight. Now for the spoiler, there's the integrated third brake light. Wiper blade is in that lower section. This does have LED taillights, backup camera with all these sensors. Exhaust pipes are down in the lower section too. And this can tow right around 1,000 pounds. So basically you can just hook up some accessories or to be able to put bikes or something like that. You're really not towing any trailers behind this. Now this also has remote start. You're not going to hear it because it will start up in EV mode, but you can use that button if you would like to. You can also use the button on the key fob or the one underneath to open up this power lift gate. Now with it open, there's a good bit of space in the back. Even with the back seats up, you have plenty of room. There's some areas on both sides too, a 12 volt, and then some areas where you can secure some items. There's even a channel for the cover, so you can install that, and you can fold the seats down to give you that much more interior space. So for its size, it's actually pretty roomy and spacious. Now as we work our way to the back seats, the door panel has a nice design to it. There's leather and stitching, more of this trim in the upper section, and a little bit of storage for drinks in the bottom. Now with these seats, you'll notice that passenger side is all the way up. This is all the way back for this driver's side. So you have a lot of comfort in being able to recline these seats. Storage pocket on that passenger side. There's air vents and some auxiliaries. And then right in the middle, you do have the armrest as well as cup holders too. But it's very easy to see around. That pillar's not all that bulky. So you have a lot of light for your backseat passengers, and it is spacious for 3 people. Now up front, door panel is just like in back. However, there's the memory seating adjustments, all of the window control, side mirror adjustments, and a little bit more storage. Now both front seats are power operated, and they have a nice design to them, especially with the supports on both sides. And we will fire this up. We can go over all of the tech now. We have the leather wrapped steering wheel with more of that stitching. Right side, there's distance pacing along with lane keeping assist, cruise control settings. On the left side, you have volume and tuning, and then you can also go through the left side of the gauge cluster. Now the entire left side is a screen. The only digital part is the right side, or the analog part is the right side for the miles per hour. But on that left side, you can go through phone, navigation, look at driver attention, all-wheel drive. There's even the seatbelt monitors, your maintenance and support. You can choose to have no content if you just want a calm screen. There's also brightness and power flow. You have range and fuel. There's a lot that you can go through on this left side. So it just depends on what you would like to see. There's also the tack and the charge and power for that EV system too. Now, this does have steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. As I mentioned earlier, this has the eCVT, so that's the electronic continuously variable transmission. Now, in order to use the paddle shifters, you have to go into B, all the way at the back for the regenerative braking. So you'll notice just above the fuel level there's a B, M, and then there's an icon with those arrows basically. You can adjust those with the paddles, so that is how much braking the vehicle is going to do by itself. On the left side, there's the liftgate release, traction control too, and then with the infotainment screen, just by pushing on home, we can get to these icons where you have all apps, you have navigation, phone, power flow, there's your radio. You can go into your clock and a bunch of other settings, just depending on what you need to see for the day. There's also shortcuts in the lower section. You have navigation, phone, you can get into some other info there. Power and volume and tuning on the left side. And then this entire background for the climates goes all the way to the passenger side. So it's integrated very nicely. This does have heated seats, fan speeds right in the middle. You have where you'd like the air to go, temperature dials too, and a few other controls. There's even more auxiliaries down below and wireless charging. So you can place your phone and additional items too. And then if we put this into reverse now, we have a few different angles that you can go into, just depending on what you need to see. And then to the left of that, there's brake hold, e-brake, downhill assist, and there's a few different drive modes. So there's sport, normal, eco, and snow, depending on what you are driving in for the day. 2 cup holders, a little bit of storage behind that. There's more room in the center armrest, as well as the glove box. And then up top, this even gets a sunglass holder. We have all the dome lights and the adjustments for the sunroof. It's manual for that sunshade, automatic for the sunroof itself. And then there's also plenty of visibility looking over both shoulders. But let's go ahead, get this out on the road. And now what I want to talk about is putting this into that B setting and using the paddle shifters like I mentioned earlier. So if we only have one of the arrows, when I let my foot off the accelerator, we are just coasting like we would in any normal vehicle. And before we talk about the negative paddle, let's give another acceleration so we can get back up to speed. Now if I push on the negative paddle all the way and let my foot off the accelerator, we are going to slow down much quicker, and the charge meter goes almost more than halfway than all the way up. Basically what this is going to do is help charge that EV system even more. Now it's interesting to see that on a vehicle that is not a plug-in hybrid, because the engine is going to keep that EV system charged. But if you want to charge a little bit more, maybe you're in the city, you don't have to use the brake pedal as much. It's also an added convenience for stop and go situations like that, where you can almost do one pedal driving and just use the accelerator. Now, from what I've seen, it's still not taking us down to a full stop like in a full EV when they have the regenerative braking, or maybe a plug-in hybrid, but it is something that's nice to see. And I think it's one of the few non-plug-in hybrids that I have seen using this technology. So that's another added benefit with this CRV. But driving it now from this perspective, right around 40 grand. It's interesting to see the price increase. My wife's 2014 was about $28,000 brand new. Not the same trim level, but just to give you an idea for pricing between 2014 and the latest model here. So prices have increased, but we do have some more tech and features, of course, that her car doesn't have from 10 years ago. But it is nice to see where Honda has come with the CRV and of course the rest of their lineup. So for 40 grand, it's not really all that expensive considering what you're getting, more of the reliability, some of the tech features, nice comfortable ride. This is a car that if my wife chose to replace her CRV with this CRV, she could have for another 10 plus years easily and have really low maintenance costs. So if you're looking for a car that is going to be relatively easy and affordable to maintain, this is a great option to go with too. And it's a nice daily driver. It's so nice to drive out on the highway, and it's something that you can definitely rack up the miles on. But that is going to wrap it up for the 2023 Honda CRV Hybrid Sport Touring. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.